Okay, Aquarius, here's your reading for the spring of 2025. This is going to be the spirituality reading for you. You came up with the most views on Rumble, so I'm bringing you out first on YouTube here. So you should be watching this on YouTube. So here we go. We're going to get into things. So watch for your bonus at the end of the series. Okay, the first card for you, Aquarius, for your spirituality reading from the Gaia tarot deck is the Four of Fire. Yeah. That's being, to me, again, I'm an energy reader, not a card reader, but these cards help me with the energy. Okay, here we go. So, 4 is about focus to me. I'm seeing a lot of, like, I've got my laser sights on the way I want to go forward here in my spiritual way, and I ain't letting nothing else get in the way of that. No, it's interesting because they're highlighting that eagle eye. So there is a sense of not only fine-tuning our abilities in order to gain insight, but also fine-tuning our abilities of focus within all that we see. Okay? Wow, that's pretty. That is like a fire element. So we may be out of our air element and into a fire energy of taking action and going after exactly what we want here. That's really the sense that I get. And distractions, ahoy, because you start swimming because you ain't coming in my field is the sense that I get. Okay, so yeah, a huge centered focus here. Good first energy. You can't go wrong there. Knowing what you want, first of all, and then going after it, second. So the next card that we have, again, this is past energy. So this may be energy that you're dealing with in the present, but it has an ability to be in your immediate past. So the next card that we get is the King of Earth. So 14. Interesting. They're going, this is the object of our focus. We are trying to suss things out here. And again, giving me that eagle eye. What is going on with this person? So it may be a focus on a certain person and as to what is going on here. And I feel like this is the person in our crosshairs. We're trying to figure out what they're doing, where they're going, what. The thing I get to is this may be someone that is trying to pull us off of our focus. And we are... I say a phrase quite often, it's like touche. It's like, I use that so out of context. It doesn't even mean what it's supposed to mean anymore. And the sense they're giving me is, that's exactly what's come with this person that we got our sights on. It's like, you don't even mean what you used to mean anymore. What's going on? So there's a sense we may have either someone turning on us or we're turning on them. But I don't feel that we've turned in the way of becoming an enemy, but we've turned in the way of trust. Now, suddenly we don't trust someone and we're looking at them like an enemy is really what I'm getting here. And it's the King of Earth. And the King of Earth usually, right, in his positive element, he is stable, strong. He's a teacher of men and he can go out and create new frequencies all over the place. He's slow and steady, so he really doesn't get tripped up by too much. Yeah, and again, they're showing me, look at the eyes of the Four of Fire. They're clear, you can see where they're looking and whatnot, but the King of Earth, you can't. It's blurry. There's no pupils. He's not looking at anything. So there's something unnerving about that, is what they're saying. There's something in the background here, don't add up. So, as we move into the future, so this is our present, this is what we're dealing with. We're trying to focus and figure someone out here is the sense that I got. And there ain't nothing that's getting in the way of us finding out the answers here having to do with this person. So the next card in the future, we get the Mother card. Okay, where does that sit? That can be a motherly figure outside of you. Could be you taking on that motherly energy within yourself. You may feel like a mother to this person, though I feel quite removed at this time. I feel it's a stranger energy. Okay, I feel like we may have, okay, this is complex. There may be someone here, and I feel it's a masculine energy, but again, at your will. It could be a feminine energy. You could be a masculine. Trying to figure out someone here in your field that used to be as close as a mother would be, is what they said. But suddenly now they're a stranger because there's something here that happened, makes everything, throws everything off energetically. It's almost like you got a best buddy. You show me these movies, you got a best buddy, and then there's like a mole in the system, and then suddenly you look next to you and it's the person closest to you is the one that betrayed you the highest. Like, I'm making mistakes here. Like I do like a clearing before I start. And no matter what, there's always jumbles in my voice that comes through. And I'm throat chakra activated. So this is where my power comes from. And every time I get this energy like this, is don't let it get to you. Okay, here's the thing. We have someone in our field, and they may have at one point been the closest thing we had to us, and they have betrayed us in a way that makes them the furthest thing to us, but we're keeping an eye on them. We're not letting them out of our sight, and we're going to know exactly what this person's all about, and we may be starting to discover this as well. My 3 cards go from past, present to future, and they're reversing it. They're going in the past. We felt like a mother figure to this person. We were as close as a mother could be. That's what they keep saying. Now, give me a moment. Something happened here. The tide turned, is what they're telling me. Okay? So we had a turning of the tide in this relationship. And because of this, the Aquarius is on high alert as for any discrepancies here. But the sense that I get is we just have an emptiness in this King of Earth, which is, is not what I usually get, an empty feeling, like an empty vessel. Okay? This is what I'm getting. No longer do we connect on a spiritual level. And the Aquarius, above all, is going to feel that highly. And they're going to react. Other people might, kind of prompt that person to come forth, bring them forth and have to be proven this. If there's an energy switch, man, that Aquarius is going to be out of there. So they're out of there. And they've got their sights set on this person, just waiting to shoot. And if they do anything wrong, the sense is we're going to shoot. Now, this is a spiritual reading. So this is highly veiled to most people. Those that are in high spiritual mode, this will be in the forefront. But for most people, it's not something that's going to be seen directly. It's not literally someone taking an arrow and walking up to someone and going, "Don't you wrong me because I will shoot." Not like that. But spiritually, it is like that. Okay? There's something here, a great trespass that has happened. And it's in the making to figure it out, is the sense. But the feeling they're giving me is this 4 of fire and this King of Earth used to be high compadres. And now they're highly separated. There's high distance in between. Something here, either, it's interesting because I'm coming like from the other side of the tracks is what I feel. Like on the dark side of the tracks, I feel like I'm coming from that perspective, but nonetheless, right? Told you things would get dark. But now as we move into this energy, if you go on the other side, it's like, well, we've been betrayed, so we've distanced ourselves. And there's a softness there. Here, there's a great focus. I'm not letting you out of my sight, and I'm not going to allow you to perpetrate anywhere that I don't see fit. Now, let's carry on and see where this leads us. I bring in the chakra cards here for the second row as I go over the energy reading, right, from the, because I take into account the energy that I'm supposed to carry into this new frequency. And the last energy reading was all about joy and children and being light like children and enjoying life like children. And so this is the opposite of that. It's a very serious energy, and we're locked on to something, and we're not taking our eyes off it, is a sense. Okay, now as we move into the next row, we bring in the chakra cards. Okay, so on the 4 of fire, which is, I feel, the Aquarius, setting their sights on lock, and are we going to shoot, or what's going on here? This is the sense I'm getting. On top of that, we get the Knight of Wands. Well, that would be about taking that action, and that is the sense I got as well in the background. It's like, give me the word and I'm going to take action. I'm going where I want to go. Da, da, da. Now, the Knight of Wands can be quite, what's the word? Spontaneous, combustion, like combustive, this kind of thing. These kind of, they can go in areas, man, they're maybe not supposed to go, but they'll go nonetheless. They're fearless in a way. And that fearlessness can sometimes get them into trouble. So that's the caveat here is, Aquarius, you be careful where you want to jot off onto, especially in a spiritual way. There's a great presence here, I feel, between the physical and the emotional and spiritual sides. There's a great difference here, meaning when we're in the physical world, we may be pretty quiet, keep to ourselves. We don't make a fuss. We don't like fuss. But spiritually, we're huge warriors. And if we have to create chaos in order to uncover, this was an energy I had not too long ago. If we have to create chaos in order to lift something to the truth, because ultimately you are an air element, and it is all about the truth and the thoughts of truth and whatnot. We will create chaos in order to lift that truth to the surface. And that's kind of the sense I get. But I feel like the truth is from this King of Earth. Okay? That's what we're trying to lift. I feel like that's who we've got our sights set on. Okay. As we go into that King of Earth. Now, we got a blue here, which is about speaking. I'm going to go back to that card here because I'm missing the whole point, which is of these chakra cards, is what chakra is it and what rules that. Now, I'm not very versed in the chakra system, but I go with what I'm guided. And here, the blue, or it could be indigo as well, I'm not sure, but the sense I'm getting is blue and fighting for, even if it's indigo, see, blue would be the throat chakra, and indigo would be your intuition. And that would be speaking from your intuition and going forward. And I do feel that the Aquarian would be along these lines in this way. We're going to speak from our intuition, and we're going to charge forward and seek others that seek this truth from their intuition. And again, this King of Earth is just hovering in the center here. What do we get on top of him for a chakra card? We get the Two of Cups. Uh-oh. Okay. Here we go. The love readings seem to be more spiritual, and then the spirituality readings seem to be more love. Whatever. It's like, did you get the memo? I'm doing the spirituality readings. Okay, here we go. But this is love. Two of Cups is about a soul connection and intuitive knowing of someone. This could be the thing we have our sights set on now. I feel like the Aquarian is looking for their true love companion. I feel like someone might have come here in an empty vessel trying to be that true companion, but we realize that it's empty. It is not for us. So somewhere here we had a betrayal or some sort of thing where spiritually we got alignment here. Yeah, like we were really close, and then poof, it just blew apart because suddenly we realized the spiritual side of things did not add up. And neither did the physical side, frankly. We may have been going on psionic adventures and finding a partner in the telepathic realms, and then realizing that there's no physicality there. Okay. Here we go. This is the third level here. Third, fourth, probably fourth, fifth. Wowzers. So yeah, that's what's going on here. We got a trespasser in our field trying to may even veil themselves as a twin flame, veiling themselves as a spiritual partner, a telepathic connection that may come through here that was actually not, they either are not of the physical realm, which means they're an entity, not a physical person, trying to win us over or pull us out of what it is. Now, I feel like the tables turned here. I feel like the Aquarius figured this out. Okay, I got telepathy here and we're doing all this stuff and nothing's happening, no physical. Okay, something's wrong here. That's what I get. This is the mole. Now, yeah, this is what's going on. So anyway, as we move into the realm, because we got to remember, the sense I get here is the King Earth. He's just an empty can that's being kicked around. There is no physical person here. It may even be the devil himself playing in your mindscape, okay? Wow. Okay, so the Two of Cups, this is what we're focused on, and we may have been introduced to our abilities of telepathy here and come across something that in the physical realm, they're giving me an X. It just will not translate to the physical, okay? Now, as we move into the mother, that was the energy. Again, it's in our future, but it was of our past. This is how we felt with that person. They were as close as a mother could be to a child. That's how close they were. And the sense is, even a mother has, when they have their child, it's like that telepathic connection. When they're in trouble, you kind of feel it. It's like that. It's that kind of a connection. Okay, so on top of that, what's the chakra card that we have there? Nine of Swords, yeah. Something here bringing us stress and anxiety because there's no longer a connection here is the sense that I get. And the reason it's not here is because the universe has cut it off. That eclipse stuff, that's cutting these minor connections, these misinterpretations, these are getting cut out. And it has nothing to do really with you or with that other person. Though that other person can highly affect their own field. But I feel like it has to do with the eclipse. We're just cutting these extrasensory relationships off that are not of the high heart. If you're not coming from a higher heart place, you don't get to connect anymore. There was a frequency where they could bypass that. This is no longer. So this is what's happening here. And the Nine of Swords is the stress and anxiety it creates for both parties. But I think the Aquarius is more focused on the fact that, okay, this is something different. Okay, sorry, I had an interruption there. We were going on to the Nine of Swords on top of the mother energy here. And there was a stressful feeling about the closeness that we had with this person. And the fact that really what I'm getting here, it's interesting because it is highly spiritual. If you knew this one person, this Aquarius, you would not know that they are going through this on the surface. This is highly internal behavior in the spiritual realm. So having said that, there's a lot of stress and anxiety that the Aquarian is holding because they're starting to realize that they might have been spiritually connecting to an entity that was not in the physical realm, but they were trying to convince the Aquarius that they were in the physical realm. And this is the stressful point that they're at. Now, they have figured it out. Now, the thing here is that, okay, this is where we're coming into the war, okay? The spiritual war. We have a situation here where the time on earth has come for people to come together in a loving unity kind of energy. Now, as this happens, there are otherworldly things that want to stop that frequency from rising, the happiness, the joy, the fulfillment to come together. So they will, in their form of entities and otherworldly things, come in to do anything to break that up. And this is what we have here in the Aquarian field. So, being of Aquarius nature, they can and will jump off into spheres of, yeah, I'm noticing a difference of the information I'm having to sort through. It's more on my level, but at the same time, it's out there. So if you're someone who is an Aquarius, who is spiritually fraternizing with all of these energies that are in the realm of gifts that you have been given, and also exploring areas of the paranormal, unknown, these types of areas in spiritual nature, again, nobody sees, this would apply to you highly. Okay, now, having said that, what we have here is an Aquarius that is supposed to be in alignment with coming together with their true divine partnership, twin flame, soulmate, whatever you want to call it. What has happened is we've had a spiritual invasion of that energy, a spiritual connection that has been gotten through to the Aquarian, by the way, spiritually. If the Aquarian themselves are not of an evolved nature where they know how to discern right from wrong up in there. And when you first get in there, man, you just absorb everything. You're just taking it all in. So you don't truly know what's good and bad or what's trying to manipulate you. It's just like on the 3D earth. There's people that want to be around you for your highest good, and there's people that want to manipulate you and get things out of you that are not for your highest good. So in the spiritual realm, it's the same thing. We have to deal with that. And unfortunately, some people can go off in that realm and they figure that it's all angelic or it's all of God or it's all of, but it is mixed up. It's mixed up. No matter where you go, you have to discern. So I feel like what happened here is, whether it's due to lack of discernment or just an adventurous streak that the Aquarian had, we went off in this area, no holds barred, and we come across this energy, and we got to a point where I think the Aquarius was smart enough to know that there was something wrong here, but they wanted to give the benefit of the doubt and think, well, this is my soulmate. I am connecting telepathically. This is what it is, but it's not. But it wasn't, and this is what they found out. Like, in the present moment, they're finding this out right bloody now. Okay, so this is the Nine of Swords. As we move into the future, there's some healing here because we may have fallen for a spiritual trap, and it came in the form of a king of earth, and also in the form of a soulmate. Right? It was trying to manipulate us to believe that we had a telepathic connection with a soulmate in order to pull us away from the physical realm of actually finding a soulmate. Does this make sense to you? If it does, this reading's for you. Now, there's the chakras. Now, the last two were in the orange, and I would feel that this entity was trying to take over your sacral chakra. They may have been in the form of, there's a name for it, in sexual energy. They may have been moving about in that way. Yeah, this is bringing up a lot of stuff. They may have been trying to lock that system out, meaning they may have been trying to take over the sacral chakra itself and pull, because they're showing me a line of energy going from the Aquarius's sacral chakra to this entity's sacral chakra. And now they're showing me a sword cutting that energy. I feel like this is what these eclipses are doing. They've cut that energy source so they can no longer do it. And I don't think it was the Aquarian that, wow. I don't think it was the Aquarian that did that cutting. Even though I think they were in realization that there was something wrong there, I think it was the universal flow, the universal frequencies cut, meaning this person was of a lower vibrational source, and we were going into higher vibrational frequencies, and they no longer can connect. It has to break apart. This is the natural flow. So we've realized this, and we're highly attuned to the fact that we're going to keep an eye on things from here on in. Okay. I'll leave it at that. If this is for you, look up the sacral chakra, because I don't know enough about it. I know that, sex can be along any line of the chakra system, frankly. But I get it as, to me, that's a symbol of passionate feelings and joy and excitement. These are kind of things that come out to me. But if you really want to know, look into the internet and see that sacral chakra. These would have been things that would have been overflown at one time and then depleted at another. So you would have been in lack of sacral energy, and then the thing is, for all that you can remember, it would have been a lack. And before that, it would have been an overflow of it. So let's move on to the third row. I'm bringing in the Metatron, the geometry cards. Knight of Wands. Again, we're going forcefully forward, having this realization, this flipping of energy. We've realized that someone here is utilizing our field in order to gain, and I feel like it's just an empty vessel. It's really, not only do they not have warmth and compassion, but they really have no soul. So this would be of the otherworldly. I don't know if it's otherworldly or just negative influence whatsoever. And it's all in the spiritual realm. So Knight of Wands is about, going forward to connect to that which we were brainwashed to believe we had already, but now we don't. So now we're going to go forward and look for it. So on top of that Knight of Wands, the geometry card is Divine Masculine. That's interesting. Now, the first thing they said to me is we are in divine masculine energy. Whether we're a masculine or a feminine, we are taking action at this point to remove ourselves highly from this energy. Okay, so that's partly. Now, if you're feminine, you are highly in search of a divine masculine through all of this, because they were under a veil of illusion that this partner, that they were already connected to this partner. And there was a history. I feel like there's a long period of time this happened. And there was a history of, how would you say, buildup. A buildup of energy stored here. And now that we've figured out that that's not only is it not what we thought it was, but it's nothing that we can invest in at this point. We have to go in a different direction. Now we're looking for that other partner. And the funny thing is here, now, if you're talking about twin souls, okay, whatever happens to the masculine will happen to the feminine, no matter if you're in feminine or masculine form. Y'all have feminine and masculine energy within, no matter what you relate to. Now, I feel like not only we're going out in our divine masculine, aggressively searching, but we're going to find that Two of Cups in our field in a divine masculine form, if that's the way it may be. Man, I'm having a hard time communicating here. Things are wanting to shut off on me. They don't want me telling you the rules. They don't want me telling you everything you need to figure this out. And I feel like the Aquarius already come across, this would be high validation for you, but they're already coming across this as a possibility. So now they just have to jump on and make it their reality. So as we move into the Two of Cups, and again, this is the unionized energy that the universe wants you under. They want you to join together, masculine, feminine, people, friends, family, unite. And it raises the vibration through that. On top of that, the geometry card we get is complex rectangle. Okay. Wow. When I get this card in a reading, this complex rectangle always soaks me into the deepest, darkest realms of vibration. It's like that doorway goes straight to hell. That's what I'm getting. Okay, just bear with me here. Now, this is what this person came from. It came from that version of life, that frequency of life that can no longer connect to the Aquarian. I feel like the Aquarians was experimenting. They come across something. It's like kids experimenting with Ouija boards. They come across something they didn't expect. It wasn't. And not only did it try to pretend to be something it wasn't, but it was from the darkest realms of where it could come from. And I think that the Aquarian would underestimate that highly. So that's where we're going to kind of have a mind blow here with the Aquarians, because it's like, yeah, it was from the darkest pit of hell. And it may have been the devil themselves. It may have been an entity from whatever you consider. Again, I'm learning as well the parameters as to where that goes. But nonetheless, this is the sense I get. It was the pits of hell trying to pretend it was something decent. And it couldn't even do that. It couldn't even do that properly because it's not of it. It's empty, right? And we could feel that along. And we're trying to, relay that. But something was missing. So there it is. Okay, now as we go, that's what we're dealing with now, is dealing with the fact that this person, well, we perceive them as a person, but they're not in physical form. I keep stressing that. It's a mental entity that was attached in your mind and saying, look at how my voice is going. They want me to shut this off. It was. It was not in physical form. It was an entity that was in the wilderness of the mental mindscape of the universe. And when it pops out of your mind, it'll go into somebody else's. But here it is detached. And it can no longer do so unless it is of the same vibration. The vibration was so different, vastly different from where it came from, that it wanted to just sit and feed and vibrate. I'm getting like a thump, thump, thump. Like that was their heart. Your heart was their heart. So that has been disconnected. They want you to know that. And now this hypervigilance that we have, it's almost like the guy's been blown up and there's no more threat in the universe, but the Aquarian's still walking around with a gun ready to strike. So be careful. If we deal with the physical universe, we will be fine. It is the spiritual realm that, again, it's in transition. Now is not the time to be jumping in, but it is the time to be thoughtful and to resonate in your 3D universe. Man, my throat, like I'm taking breaks to cough and cough and cough. It's like a frog and 2 frogs and 3 frogs, and they just is never-ending frogs in my throat. So anyway, I know that's because there's energy against it, eh? They don't want it out. Okay, 9 of Swords as I continue. We're stressed because we let this person, again, I'm saying person because it's the only way they looked at it. But we let this entity get real close to us. In fact, they got our claws in quite heavily, to the degree we almost felt comfortable with them being there, and they weren't supposed to be there. This is the sense that I'm getting. Wow. Kate, on the 9 of Swords, what do we get from the sacred geometry? Oh, yes. Taurus field, revolution and refreshment. Now, yeah, how far do we want to go down this hole? The Taurus field, that, as I see it, okay, this is how it's been explained to me. You create your own Taurus field. So that cone in the middle is your physical body. And then the energy that goes out around you is your physical field revolving around you. And you create and you send out, you create, you send out, you create, you send out. What they're showing is there's a vacuum in that. Like this guy or girl or whatever they perceive to be, what are they? The things I can't think of when I'm highly kind of channeling information, like a succubus and an incubus, those things. That's exactly what it was. It's exactly what it was. It was attached, quite highly ingrained in your spiritual realm. Now, without getting too far into things, I will say there was a lot of intimacy here on levels that should not have been. But again, this was here to learn a lesson, and this was here to learn discernment as well. So, and the more deeply ingrained it got, the more we got used to that energy field. So in essence, when we were trying to suss it out, we missed it because it felt like it was already there. How do you express that? It was hidden quite nicely in our own energy field. Therefore, we felt like we were being alone when we weren't alone. We felt like we were free of it when we weren't free of it. And the universe came in and blocked it off. And I'll tell you, I had my own experience with stuff like this, and it's weird because it's like going into a room. Say you go into a room How would I express that? You go into a room every morning. You get up and you go into maybe a prayer room, or you go for a place for coffee, and there's the same people there all the time. You sit by yourself and you do what you want to do. You have your coffee, you have your donut, whatever. You're chilling out, right? Your morning coffee. Okay, let's do it that way. You go in there, same people all the time. Da da da. You know, maybe a few new ones come and go, but it's always the same. It always seems familiar. Then you go in one day and there's nobody there, including the people that take your order. And you walk in and you look around and there's nobody there. And then you're going, wait a minute. What happened? That's the feeling you will get spiritually when it is released from you. Because it's like that fan in the background that's always running, and then you don't realize until it's off that it's gone. Okay? And because of this frequency that they removed, and I'm saying they removed, but it's a frequency problem. It's not like God himself came down and said, oh, you guys, out you go, took them by the neck. Because sometimes they explain things in ways to get it through, but it's not exactly how it comes. And this is one of them. It's like, did God himself remove it? No, the frequency itself removed the possibility that this could happen. So that means we increased our frequency. The earth itself increased its frequency, and therefore the bridge can no longer be there. It collapses because the frequency is too high. It's too far of a length for it to traverse. This is what's happened, okay? And again, you'll get that feeling. And the torus field is basically your energy zone. Your field of energy is now going to accumulate. And they're showing me going from like, how do you express? Going from like a little, those little toys they give you at McDonald's or whatever. They give you little plastic toys of people. And then a Barbie is like about 3 times the size of that. And then like those stuffed animals you get at the fair when you win the dartboard. It's huge. It's life size. It's the difference between that. We're increasing, our energy field is increasing. Why? Because someone was sucking us dry and we could only revolve at a little elf stage. And now we're evolving at a Barbie. And then eventually we're going to evolve at the giant toy at the fair. If you get my drift. Sorry, I can't retain much when I'm going off in this field, but nonetheless, this is what they're giving me. Now, as I get to the wording here, revolution and refreshment. There will be a refreshment in the field if you have not been contacted directly. So if you're someone of meditation that goes in and talks to guides and whatnot, again, this could have taken the form of someone pretending to be your guides. So you got to be careful there. And you may have gone in one day and there's crickets. It's like, where's my spirit guides? Well, those may have been pretending to be for your highest good, but they were actually chewing away at your frequency. Okay? So now, you would have noticed, so things, because they want to know. So what would signify the breaking point? Suddenly, okay, you may be living in a world where nothing goes right for you. You have obstacle beyond obstacle beyond obstacle that you really can't overcome. But you keep trying, you just waste a lot more energy trying to get things done than the regular Joe. That just kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but it'd be like blockages beyond blockages in your field all the time, blah, blah, blah. This is what will happen is your universe will start to change because things will come to you more freely. And again, depending on your karma points that you have, if you're a positive based person, then there will have been a overflow of good things that are going to start coming in your life. These will start to trickle in. Again, once that dam opens, they're showing me someone looking at their feet and seeing water flowing over their feet and then being blown away by it. But it'll start to trickle in, like you'll notice it, you'll feel it. You're like, oh, that's good. That's happening. This is great. And again, it makes everything open up on levels I can't even express. But as to say that it will come in as a trickle and then it will come in as a wall of water coming at you. And instead of being in fear of it, we just need to take our time as much as we can and not get overwhelmed by all of it. There might be a mental collapse here having to do with positive energy coming in. I'm going to tell you that's the highest vibrational problem you want to have is a mental collapse, because you cannot you can't deal with all of the good things, because we've been trudging uphill so long. We've built our muscles so far in this area that when we go on the other side and all we have to do is sit on that wheeled cart and it just takes us to wherever, it's going to be a weird thing. But nonetheless, I'm seeing a lot of stuff here. So your clarification card, I use the Isis card, so this should be deep. It has been deep. It's a little bit of a ride, and I'm not so foreign from it either. So here we go. The Isis card to clarify your spiritual side of things here is talking about initiation. Would you? Spiritual testing of Ra and the Lady Isis. Okay, first of all, I don't know if I posted it yet, did I? I think it was in the energy report. I had the word, they said we need to mention the initiation because other people are going through it and they need to have validation outside of themselves of this. They need to understand that it's happening, it is real, it is valid, and it is a stepping point where we can no longer go backwards. We are going forwards. So, Aquarius, you've been initiated and you have also been set free. And I feel like there was someone here that did not want you to be a new initiate in the new energy of light is really what I get. And that entity has been removed. So, congratulations. They're showing me confetti. We may be at a pause point here where things are starting to trickle in, but we're very suspicious of it. Because if we go back to the first card, which is also in orange, red and orange, right? Talking about the root chakra and our basic needs. Not only are our basic needs going to start to be met, which we may have had a problem with, by the way. We may have been so down and out that we couldn't even get our basic needs met. This is going to start to trickle in, and after we get our base done, look out. That's when the waterfall comes in. So this is, again, karma points have to be taken into account here. But nonetheless, it's all real good, Aquarius, but just heavy spiritual warrior that was kind of bamboozled, but they were starting to figure it out, but they may not have had the spiritual understanding of how to truly defeat this. But not only that, they have just literally been set free because they put that one foot in the initiation phase and they decided, yeah, I'm going forward in my light. And because of that, that one step up is what needed to disconnect the other one from clinging. If you get my drift on a spiritual level, it's deep stuff. So again, going back to that 4 of fire, the Aquarius is even though they see little tricklings of this, they're not willing to accept it at this time. Because why? Because they've been so in darkness where everything's been blocked from them. They don't trust that this is it. Because that's all they know. That's all they've ever lived. That's all they ever had. So we have been initiated, and some of you may have also in a spiritual way been initiated. You may have had a ceremony in your mind, in your dreams, in your daydreams. Something happened here. You will have been witness to this, and your soul accepted the mission. So you are now moving forward in love and light. That's the decision you have made. Whew. Okay. Gonna try and find music for that one. I don't know. Some days it's a challenge. Yeah, we're beyond the point of being programmed any longer. We have released from that which could have had a negative hold on us, did have a negative hold on us. We are beyond that. So I'm going to leave it there because our Taurus field is going to be revolutionized in a new way. And, that'd be your aura field, your energy system, all of it. And so not only, getting someone say, fuck the earth frequency. I'm going in my own way. And this is really the way you're going to feel, is screw everything else, because you feel like all of the powers above you have been against you, but it wasn't the powers above you. It was the powers below. And now they've been separated, and now we will start to go as it should be. So for an Aquarius here, this one was under what I call the black tarp. And now you cut that tarp, well, the universe, whatever frequencies have cut that tarp open, they're going, we can't do it without your permission. We can't do it without you saying, yes, I'm going forward in love and light. We cannot do it. So we did that. And now we're moving forward, and that black tarp has now been ripped apart to shreds. And now we get to start to walk and learn, because unfortunately we've learned all the wrong coping systems to the wrong kind of energy. So now we're going to have to relearn how to go about in a positive kind of way. So Aquarius, wowzers. Yeah, we got the bonus. So again, look for your bonus at the end of the reading. And we'll go from there. It's hugely powerful, hugely empowering. And now, as much as we have affected our spiritual universe, now the physical world will start to manifest in a way where we see truly how powerful we are, and others will see it as well. And that is where we can start. So take care, Aquarius, man. That's a huge reading right there. Have fun and be kind. You are a new initiation of love and light, and you're going forward freely. Enjoy the ride. Take care, have fun, and be kind.